Hi there, welcome to Adventure Airsoft. My name is Mike. Today we've got a controversial subject, which is to do with plate carriers or chest rigs, but it's mainly to do with loading and unloading. So it's unloading, loading drills. It isn't the definitive answer. I don't think anyone's got the definitive answer on what the best loading and unloading drill is, or their processes. But all I can say is I can tell you what I do and see whether that helps you. And I'll tell you the reasons why I don't do some things. So today we're going to need some props. So I use my loadout. Right, so this is mine. This is an 8 fields, as cheap as you like, plate carrier. You can put plates in it, but I don't put plates. It's basically two sheets of basically cordura at that size, which is basically almost like a vest as opposed to a plate carrier. But this is what I wear. It's really light, really comfortable. Doesn't have any excess flapping around. No, I've only ever done up one side, and it's just comfortable. It just works. Okay. So loading and unloading then. What I do is I carry 5 mags across the breast, and the reason why I carry 5 mags is because with the quantities in the magazines, I have 125 round mid caps. Because of that gives me a loadout that I like. Okay. I don't carry any excess rounds. They're all mid caps, don't make a noise, don't rattle or anything like that. And I just prefer carrying just magazines on my chest rig. The only other thing I've got on there at the minute is a Hpa Tank. So 40 HCI tank, which covers me for 3 or 4 games. I've got a test grenade hanger here, which we'll maybe talk about later, but that's just nothing normally. And then I've got my gloves that are clipped on, so between games or end of games I'll have them clipped on there, because 1, they dry out a bit quicker, and 2, I don't lose them, which is great. So magazines then. Let's have a prop. So before anyone asks, yeah, this is unhooked, unloaded. All magazines are unloaded. I'm not wearing iPro for that reason. So let's clear that out now. So when loading them, what I tend to do is with my 5 magazines, and this is completely interchangeable with what I do for a slightly cut down version of this kit, which is just a belt kit, which is behind me, which we'll come on to. First one is, so when I go into a game, I'll take a magazine out, load up as per everyone else. Yeah, brilliant. That leaves me with an empty pouch. Okay, this empty pouch is my version of a dump bag. It's my version of what everyone else had, like a fanny pack or whatever the hell you want to call all these things, which I completely disagree with, and I'll tell you why in a second. But that's what I do. So when you're firing and you're getting low on ammunition and you want to go in a sort of position, I would tend to do a mag change then. So if I'm doing a mag change then, I want to go and dump that mag somewhere, but it's not empty. I'm just putting a fresh magazine on to go and sort of position or to go and do something, just where I know I need more rounds and that might be available in there. What I'll do then, because there's rounds in that, you can see the sort of the shoulder section there which fits into the weapon. What I'll do is I'll put that facing forward. That tells me that there's still rounds in it, usable ammo in there. And then pick up the next round, the next magazine, and go on. Yeah. So I've always got an empty pouch, and the point about always having an empty pouch after you've got into the game is that you don't have to have and put these into dump bags. You don't have to try and an L reload. Okay, so an L reload is basically rather than taking that off first, I'll take the fresh mag first, because can you continue to fire? I'll then unclip, clip, and that'll go in. Okay, so that's the L shape, right? Which people tend to do. I don't see many people do it now, but they tend to teach it quite a lot. And the reason why I don't like that, and the reason why where I come from we don't like that, is because there is an ability to fumble with the round, with the magazine. Okay, so there's always an ability there that you're going to fumble with it, right? But if you unload first, that is quite quick, quite effective. You only got one hand on the magazine, and you can put that wherever you need to put that. And because these magazines are coming out of here, they're not going to drop out or fall anywhere. Now with a dump pouch, what I found is, when I've used it in the past, because I have trialled them, you find out that you put 3 or 4 mags in, you don't do the drawstring up quite enough, you don't close the neck, and therefore when you go to a knee, or you go and try and go over a wall or a sort of position, or move into undercover and things, you've not only got this big bag of jingling magazines around, and they make quite a noise when they're empty, but also they can get knocked out and you can lose them out the pouch, and the last thing you want to do is lose magazines. So for me, I always want to know the state of my magazines, I also want to know what magazines I've got, and they're actually there. So when I come to bomb up, they're already here in the pouches, ready to go. I don't have to go fishing for them. So for this way, when I put a magazine in, and as I said before, I face that section, the sort of spine of the magazine, facing the gun, right? Because I'm right-handed, it faces the gun. It tells me there's rounds in there. Now, if for example I've unloaded and that's empty, like it is now, clearly you see that is empty. If I know it's empty, what I'll do is I'll face that the opposite way. So I'll put the spine facing that side, and that tells me by looking down now, according to the way I structure my magazines, those two have got rounds in, that's got rounds in, that's empty, and that's empty. So I've got 3 mags. And I always know my magazine state then, regardless. I don't have to try and count 120 rounds. You know, it was a lot easier carrying 30 rounds in a magazine to count your rounds. Now it's a bit harder, but I like the fact that they don't rattle, and I like the fact that I can still use that system, and that system works very, very well. It's always done me proud. So I'll always know, you'll see on some of the other videos I've got, I'll always go in a sort of position, I'll go do a mag change before I go running off into the hulu. So yeah, that's what I do. Let's get rid of that now. So yeah, try it. The reason why this came about is that I've seen a lot of games where people have struggled with having a full loadout of magazines and one on the gun, and they've got no room to put anything. They've got no room to put things, to store things, whilst you need to get something out, and that causes problems. That causes you fumbling. When people start chucking mags and dropping mags off the gun, you have to go and pick that up. We're not in a disposable culture. The military isn't a disposable culture where you just throw magazines off and you go and get another magazine full of rounds and all hunky-dory. You have to go and replenish what you've used. So by chucking it on the floor, you can damage feed lips, you can damage the magazine itself. You can, I've seen one guy actually recently. His magazine was playing up. It was a high cap, and he tried winding it. It was misfeeding. He then dumped it out of his gun. It hit the deck and it hit the release on the top. It went and turned into a claymore and fired rounds everywhere. You don't want that. That's not good. Don't damage these magazines. These are the lifeblood for the gun. So don't worry about that. Don't do that. Right. So that's my kit. Obviously airline, because it's HPA. Don't have anything else on there, but it allows me to move really freely. Let's come on to slings whilst we're at it. So slings are obviously incredibly important. The whole point of a sling is to do 2 jobs. One, take a little bit of the burden of the weight of the gun off you. So you want to have it as comfortable, and just to help you. And then the second thing is to sling the weapon in case you want to draw something else. You want to use your secondary, or you want to go and climb over something, or you want to just get it out of the way whilst you do something. I have tried with different slings. So I was in the military using an SA-80 sling. So hopefully you can see on the screen now the SA-80 sling, which is a 2-point sling, but it unclips into a 1-point sling. Now, I am very tempted to go back to that with this gun, but not yet. Not too tempted. It's a very good sling actually, and it makes you realise what you've got when you lose it. So I have trialled other slings. So you get rid of that one. That sling there is a 2-point, and the way I had this rigged up is I had this shorter on one side than the other, so it was dominant towards my left hand side, and that way when I chucked my gun or dropped my gun, it wouldn't hit me in the nuts, it would go down by my left leg, and then I could draw and then do whatever I need to do. So I've tried that, didn't really find it much of a fan, because again, if you look at that, when that sits across there, it covers your magazines up, and when you're trying to load unload, you've got this 2 bits of bungee cord you've got to go round. So I ditched that, trialled it, didn't like it, never used it in when I was serving, so it was one of those things. So what I do use, and again this is personal preference, I use a 1-point sling, just like that, and this is probably the cheapest sling you're ever going to find. So in surplus stores they sell these webbing straps. Now these webbing straps have previously been used on webbing. They go through the back of your webbing to pull it all together to make it taut around you and pulls around you. So it's just a webbing strap. All I've done is cut it to the right size, taped it up so it stays exactly where I want it, and all that does then is go over my left arm, nice and secure, and there we go. Right, so that's my, go back a bit further, that's my sling. So when I'm up like this, I can actually push it further forward onto something, and it takes a little bit of weight off, It's comfortable, it's quite thin, so again it's away from magazines, so when I take magazines out I can put them in really easily, really simple, and then when I sling it I can sling it, and because the way it's designed as a webbing strap, it moves quite fluidly through. So that's it, that's all I use as a sling. It's the cheapest, most effective option, and it works really well. All of these 3-point, 2-point, 1-point multi-clips and this, that and the other, please, come on, you need to find out what the easiest option is, and it doesn't mean spending 50 or 100 quid on a sling. Pence, literally pence. So have a go with that. Right, so that's guns. This is my kit. Right, so let's have a look at the belt kit now for a second. So accompanying this kit, I have a shooter's belt. On the shooter's belt, all the belt kits I wear are based on a shooter's belt, in the fact that they've got Velcro on the inside. You get a Velcro belt, they stick on, they Velcro on, they don't move anywhere, they don't slip, slide. That's it, they're on. Once they're on, they're on. Okay, so this is a Frv belt. If you don't know what Frv are, check them out. They do some of the best bespoke belt kits, pouches, things that are tried and tested in warfare, and that's the things I want to get across to you. Don't go and buy your cheapest of the cheap combat, cheapest of the cheap airsoft specific brands for kit. Anything that's single stitched is not going to last very well. Okay, so you buy stuff that's designed to work with real ammunition, real weapons, real theatres. Okay, it's going to last. Okay, it lasts for a reason. So yeah, belt kit. On the belt here then, it's as you can see, it's molly, it's driven off molly, going from left to right. Pistol pouch, it is an Osprey issued pistol mag pouch. What I tend to like, I do like the Osprey stuff, not only because I've used it for quite a while, but also the fact the way it works. Okay, so for example, these mag pouches, I'll go a bit closer so you can see. This one here is an Osprey mag pouch. This one here is a generic pouch that came from somewhere, I don't know where it came from. As you can see, that's quite soft and flimsy. Sometimes you can catch it going in, not very good. Doesn't have a backing on it. What a backing is so you can see the back of this one is raised quite high. So what I mean by that is that wherever I get the magazine, okay, I can pretty much get it in. It'll guide itself in. They come with elasticated tabs, but you can get rid of them. The only other thing I've done with these is quite an interesting thing. So basically I've cut a little hole in the side because they're double stitched and they've got like a lip on them. Feed some coat hanger, coat wire or 12 gauge wire, bend it around, push it inside, keeps it open like a little mouth, and that way it's just perfect. It really is perfect. But yeah, Osprey pouches. Never lost a pistol mag anywhere with one of these pouches, hence the reason why I use that pouch. Next one is an Frv mini admin pouch. It's literally like a little tiny zip pocket, so it's no thicker than the belt really, and I tend to just put like a bag of BBs in there, a ball bag, or some other bits and pieces, or some GoPro batteries, whatever I'm using. Last one here is a Disciple admin pouch, like a little mini admin pouch. Again, it's nice compact size, covered in mud. In here I've got, you know, grenade rounds, that kind of stuff, and the reason why I like it is because it's drawstring, so I can cinch it right up, so it's nice and small, but also it's one-handed clip. I can clip it, and it's got a nice little lip inside that it stops stuff, even if it is unclipped, falling out. Next thing then is a pistol holster. So I use a WE Glock 19 with the selectable fire on it, mainly because yeah, I like it. It's Glock. Used Glocks previously before. Glocks just came in as I was leaving, which is a bit of a shame, because I didn't like the SIGs. The Glocks were Glocks, you know, brilliant. The design's just fantastic. But this holster here is an Omnivore holster. After using Black Hawk holsters all over the place, they were just my go-to. And if they're designed to hold a real gun, they're designed to hold, you know, this coming out. I've seen so many people lose by buying cheap holsters, lose them out in the field because they're not designed, they're not a level 3 holster. That thing will never come out. It'll break the holster before it comes out. Okay. The other thing I use with this, so I can get rid of that, is a QLS Safari clip. So that is, if you can see that. So QLS Safari clips do like a base plate and a plate that you put on the holster. come in packs of 2. You can find them for about 15-20 quid online, and the reason for that is I then don't have to buy another holster for my other kit. I can literally just slide it on, clip it on, take it out. The good thing about the Omnivore holster as well is it's holstered on the light, so if you've got an X300 light or similar, Surefire X300 or a copy, okay, it's locked in on the light. Really clever. That way, if I change pistols, all I do is unclip the light. As long as you've got a rail on it, clip the light back on. There you go. Easy, easy peasy, and that's what we like, a bit of ease. It's soft. Soft? No, it's hard, it's rugged, it lasts. I'll show you that in a second. Let me just take that off there. Next thing, moving around, grenades. You always need grenades. So I have an Osprey grenade pouch again that's rigged up. So this is a Dynatex timed. I have a timed and an impact for the 2 different roles I might be needing it for there. They're both on a lanyard. I do like lanyards, do like pins, anything that is pin protected. So I can then unpin it, pull it left-handed, right-handed, post it, jobs are good. Great. And again, it's one-handed, so I can one-handed open and close that. Next one is a Dynatex 6209. So again, this is on a lanyard. Again, I pull it, post it, jobs are good, and 6 shots. Not the best impact grenade, I don't think, but it's certainly one of the better ones I've tried. Needs a bit of fettling, and the fact that it doesn't come with numbers on it, so when you rotate it, you don't know what round you're on. So I don't know if you can see there. I've had to put a bit of tape on saying 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Tell me which way around to go. And that is all I carry. That on this, jobs are good. Now, when I say it's my set is the same on both kits. So I don't know if you can see that. I've got 4 of the Ospreys, 1, 2, 3, 4 across the front. You know, really easy to get the magazines into, no messing around. I've got a Novrich pistol holster there, which isn't great. If I had a spare Osprey Mag one, I'd put that on there. I would get rid of that just because it came free. Doesn't particularly hold magazines very well, I don't think, even though I've cinched it up quite a bit. Next one is just a plastic, one of those plastic dump magazines that you had upside down. I use it the right way up, but it gives me the ability to go out and to deploy out onto the game with 5 magazines. Take a magazine out, load up, and then I've got 4 plus an empty, and therefore exactly the same thing process occurs. Right at the back, rather than a mini admin pouch, I've got a full size Osprey admin pouch with a hole in the top. That is basically so I can put my air bottle, again 48 CI bottle in there, run around with it, no problems, because it's velcro to me, it carries on going. I use an old Osprey medical pouch as a kind of like a medium sized admin pouch, what the other one was. And then we're back round to the other side again with the QLS holster. Again, QLS on, pistols ready to rock and roll, all velcros onto my body. Brilliant, no dramas. Get rid of that. And the last thing, exactly the same as before. Pin, lanyard, pouch, grenade pouch, Osprey, jobs are good. So this is an Osprey, it's not an Osprey belt, but it is an Osprey Hpa belt kit, just with a velcro put on the inside, and there's my velcro belt that goes on it. And that's basically my cut down version. So back to where we started then. Belt kit. Don't take anything unless you need to take it. If you don't need to take it, don't bother taking it. Don't fill up pouches, don't fill up room on anything just because I've got room now, I need to put some crap in the way. If you've got to take it, you've got to carry it. So keep it as simple as possible. Keep these little tricks, you know, it helps you in the heat of battle. The reason why I don't like carrying too many rounds, I don't like the PTM magazines where I could carry 1,000 rounds on me here, is purely because sometimes out in the field or in battle, you need a condor moment. You need a moment to decide, right, where am I going, what am I going to do? And even if I run out of these 5 magazines here, So I've got at least 500 rounds here. I know that I'm going to stick somewhere, I'm going to quickly bomb up, and with a speed loader they don't take long to bomb up, you know, couple of minutes at least, that is it, done at the game. I'm having that break, that little break to go, and there's not many games when I'll empty all of that, because unless I know I can hit the target I don't bother shooting. I know a lot of people out there just end up like going Rambo and everything, but that's not the way I work. So yeah, that's the best way of doing it, for me anyway. Might be wrong, you might have better ways of doing it. You know, some people do love a dump bag and they just chuck magazines in it and they bounce around flapping. It's entirely up to you. But personally I think keeping it simple as possible, giving yourself some room, giving yourself some space to put stuff out of the way. And you can do a fairly quick mag change. You know, this is a test now. So I'm bombed up. Let's see what we can do. So not too bad, you know, not too bad at all. That was empty, wrong way around, but yeah, you get the idea. So it can be quick, can be fluid. You don't need hundreds and hundreds of mags. Anyway, hopefully that's useful for you. Please, as per usual, you know, put your comments below. If you've got any tips or tricks you can pass on to me, and I might want to try something a bit different, please chuck them in the comments. Please give us a like and subscribe. The whole idea behind this is to get a bit of conversation going. Please see our upcoming videos, got loads more stuff and content coming up, especially from games we've had just before Christmas. So stay tuned for that. We've got some videos coming up on the suppressor, on the BOA suppressor for the MTW, and then you've got some games with the MTW, so you know it's quite thick and fast. Especially in the new year, we've got loads of good upcoming games, so please you know, take the time to give us a comment and a like. Thank you very much for your time. Hopefully you've made it this far. Hopefully I'll see you on the field. Fellow cake eaters, bye bye.